Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Facebook live stream for Women of Royalty USA conference. We are very excited to have you join us today. We have a very special guest that I'm going to introduce to you. Now, for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, I am Joanna Harabedian, and my husband and I, David Harabedian, we are co-founders of virtualchurchmedia.com, and we've recently been on Sid Roth at Supernatural platforms with some awesome teachings. And we are here today to talk about the brain. We are hosting a women's conference, and this women's conference is going to be on April 29th and 30th in Orlando, Florida. And one of the things that we're going to be addressing at the conference is the emotional pillar that has to do with the brain. You know, we don't realize that our brain is really powerful. And did you know that your brain can actually turn off or turn on DNA switches through your thoughts? So our very special guest, I'm so excited to introduce to you guys. Her name is Debra Cornell, and Debra is a certified health coach, and she's also a trained and certified EVOX technician. And Debra is going to explain to us, for those of us that haven't heard of what EVOX is, she's going to explain to you what that is, and she's going to talk a little bit about her background and how our conversation relates to the brain and our thoughts and our body. So Debra, welcome. We're so excited to have you to the Women of Royalty Conference, and as one of our speakers. I know you're going to be just amazing, and our attendees are going to just have absolute transformation for any blocks that they have, you know, physically, spiritually, financially, or emotionally. So take it away.
Thank you, Joanna. I'm so excited to be a part of this. And I really appreciate you putting all of this together so that everyone can have a transformation experience. So amazing. So yes, the EVOX is an amazing tool that we can use. And so it's emotional perception reframing. And so what that means in a nutshell is that any kind of trauma that we experience in our life is basically imprinted on your DNA. So we can actually reverse that damage, and which is really cool. We can do it in a quick amount of time. So did you know that your DNA can be reversed? First of all, did you know that trauma is imprinted in the DNA? And did you also know, this is so cool, because most people don't, that it's genetically passed down. The trauma, cellular memory is actually passed down. So a lot of times what we're carrying around might not even be ours. So when you have these things that pop up suddenly in your life and you're thinking, okay, my parents weren't depressed, or their parents weren't depressed, and so somehow it's showing up in me, what happened? And so we might be carrying around great grandma's depression, or we might be carrying around something else, but also we're carrying around our own. So we have our own suitcases we're carrying around. We have our genetic family tree, all these cellular memories that are being carried around. And so we can actually break free of all of that in a short amount of time. So instead of having to go through years and years and years and years of therapy, which I love therapists, I think they're amazing. I think it's much needed, but some people can't go through the reliving the trauma that they've experienced. And so with EVOX, you can actually get released from that without having to go into the trauma. So we can actually, work with the process. And so what it is picking up the frequency of the voice. So we're recording the voice in the session, and we're using biofeedback communication. So if anyone is familiar with the biofeedback communication, the Zyto system, ZYTO system, and the EVOX, EVOX. So Vox is Latin for voice. So it's actually picking up the frequency of the voice, and it's doing a recording. And when we can see what's happening, so we've got 12 zones basically that we're working in, and they're all the emotional zones. So it could be anger showing up. It could be emotional suppression showing up. It could be fear and overwhelm showing up. It could be sadness versus inner peace. And so the cool part is that when we see where this is being stored in that subconscious mind, then we can actually do the releasing part, working with the EVOX and get rid of it. It's kind of like getting rid of all the cobwebs out the closet, or, you know, yeah. So, or if you're like me, I'm a beach person. So I love, love, love the beach. So if I'm going to the beach and I'm walking down the beach every day, and then I come and there's trash on the beach, and the next day I come and there's more trash on the beach. It's kind of like how things build up in our lives. And so we're going to get rid of all that trash so you can walk free beach again, right?
Right, exactly. Well, share with us. I know at the conference you're going to be speaking. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to be sharing with the audience and what you're going to help them walk through. Because, you know, a lot of us have blocks, you know, like maybe we have an idea for a book, but we've been blocked from that, or we just can't seem to get to the next level in our career. Tell us about a success story that you've had with that.
Oh my goodness, there's so many. I've been doing this for 8 years. There's so many fun stories, but probably one of the most impactful ones to me, because it just shows how you can open up all these different avenues, is a person that came to me, and she actually was working on a relationship because she was having a tough time with her mom. But, you know, we all have people in our lives that we kind of have that, you know, butting head type relationship with. So this can actually help with that, because everything is perception, how we view things, how we see the world. And it's because of our belief systems that have been created from childhood, basically, from when we came into the world. So people who have influenced our lives. And once you clear up those perceptions, then it's like taking the blinders off first. Now you can see the whole world as a big picture, and these things are to you. But this person that I was working with, she was wanting to work on a better relationship with her mother. And unbeknownst to me, she was wanting to start a cosmetic, not a cosmetic, but like an organic skincare line. So, and I had no idea. She didn't tell me that. So the cool thing was, she called me the very next day after having EVOX, and she said, "Debra, oh my goodness, I started my whole skincare line." I'm like, "What skincare line?" I said, "I didn't know you wanted to." She said, "As soon as I got home, the creative juices started flowing and I started working on my products. Look," and she actually brought one in to me to show me.
That's so great. That's amazing.
So the cool thing is, you think you're working on one thing, but like I said, it's like clearing the cobwebs out of the closet, taking the trash off the beach. I mean, now you're able to have so many I call them infinite possibilities.
Yes.
So you go into that realm of infinite possibilities of how it's going to help and what's going to work. So it's up to you. You've got all this creative abilities, and it's a choice. So if you want to come and work on that and clear up all those spaces so your creative juices can flow, then it's just absolutely amazing. You can just live a happier, healthier life in all ways. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. So everybody, if you haven't registered for the conference yet and you need a breakthrough, then go to womenofroyaltyconference.com. That's womenofroyaltyconference.com to register, because it's coming up April 29th and the 30th in Orlando, Florida, and you don't want to miss this. So Debra, I'm just so thank you for being on the live with us today. Why don't you share just a one little nugget that you're going to be talking about, one of your talking points at the conference before we go.
Oh my goodness, I got so many nuggets to share. Where do I begin?
I know. We'll start with the little one.
Yeah, I'll start with the little one. Well, I would just say that that we all have choices. We all have free will. And the biggest thing you can do is choose to work on yourself. Because we, you know, as a human species, it seems like we think that we can change other people. Well, guess what? You can't.
Right.
The only person you can change is right here. This person that this body that you're in, that's it. You can change this person. And so the cool thing is that when you start to work on yourself and you make those changes within yourself, then you're having that ripple effect. And now you're not having to change anybody else, because your frequency is changing. And now that your frequency is changing, it's impacting others in a positive way.